Hey guys and gals, welcome to this week's pre-foreclosure daily grind tip of the week. Chris the Drummer Bowles, Bob LaChance. Hopefully everyone had a fantastic weekend, Chris, right?
Oh yeah.
I know I had. We have some great tips. We got 3 tips we're going to go over today. Before we get into that, check out our Finer Solution small business workspace. Second to none email marketing, scheduling, calendaring, you name it, it's got everything. So check it out. Again, finersolution.com. But anyway, this week's 3 tips of the week. Number 1, we're going to go over when you're actually going back and forth and negotiating with a loss mitigator, how many times you should actually pick up the phone and call them before, if they didn't get back to you, how many times you actually call them before you talk to the loss mitigation department, call the loss mitigation department. Did that make sense, Chris?
Yeah, I got you.
Did that deliver it okay?
We'll elaborate more in a minute. Yep.
And also, when you should and should not go up and above the loss mitigator's head when they're not contacting you back. Yeah. That's important. And then finally, tip number 3. Wells Fargo ASC is now on Equator, and there's some subtle differences between the Equator with Bank of America and Equator with these guys. And Chris is going to go over some particulars about that. Well, let's talk about the first point, Chris.
Okay. So basically, let's say you're going through a short sale, files assigned to a negotiator. You've tried to reach them 3, 4, 5, 6 times to no avail, and they haven't responded at all. If you've done that, it's always a good thing, and this is what I always do when I'm working on a file, is I contact the loss mit or short sale department to just get a sense, to talk to a representative in there, just to make sure of a few things. Has the file been reassigned, and I'm not aware of it? Has the file been closed out for some reason that I'm not aware of?
What are some things that they would close a file for? Just give some examples.
Missing documents. Sometimes they'll close it abruptly if the offer is not even close to what their current value is, whether it's inflated or not.
They do these things without telling you too.
Right.
So just know that.
Right.
Okay.
Obviously other reasons, but those are the big ones. So I'll call in just to make sure that nothing has happened that I'm not aware of, and that the file is still not only with that negotiator, but is still moving forwards.
A good rule of thumb: how many times should you call per week? Good rule of thumb.
Well, that depends on the situation. I mean, obviously, if there's a foreclosure that's scheduled for like 3 weeks out, I'd be wanting to call that negotiator no less than every other day. If there's no foreclosure scheduled, maybe either a couple times a week or once a week, just to follow up.
Okay, so that's good. And obviously, if there's a closing date too, within a certain time, you need other documents, you hound them.
Right.
You got to get it done.
Right, exactly.
Okay, so up and above their head, if they don't contact you back within that, 3 to 4 times you reach out to them, what are some things and what are some reasons why you go up and above their head?
Well, you wouldn't go. You're talking about to a supervisor?
To supervisor, yeah. You don't just do it on a regular basis. What I'm saying is, what are some reasons why you'd go up above a negotiator's head?
Well, a couple of the biggest reasons are just if the negotiator is acting irrationally. That's regardless of time frame. But when we're talking about lack of response and time frame from a negotiator, each lender has a certain amount of time that they will quote you as far as, okay, the process takes 30 days. This negotiator has 3 weeks to get you a response on the offer.
And ask those things right up front too, because we have these obviously written down. We work on a ton of properties, so we already know the guidelines in particular background. But if you're just starting out, make sure you identify this and you ask these questions up front.
Right, exactly. So let's say with a given lender that time frame that negotiator has is 4 weeks or a month to get me a response. Once we've gone beyond that month, and it's shown in their system, in their notes, that we've gone beyond that month, then I'll simply just say, hey, we need to escalate this file, and that's basically what happens. The negotiator and their supervisor get an email at that point that says, hey, we're over the 30-month or 30-day time frame here. We need to get a response on this file.
So you call, email. That's when you start hounding.
Right.
All right, good stuff. All right, let's talk about Equator System and Wells Fargo.
Yep. So as you guys probably know, some of you may know, or some maybe you actually don't know, Wells Fargo and ASC now are full-time on Equator. This is maybe a week or so recent here, where now all of their files, except for FHA and VA stuff, just like Bank of America, are now going to be processed through Equator. So obviously everybody be aware of that if you're not already. And basically, a lot of the tasks when you do get going with your first couple short sales, a lot of the tasks are going to be the same. You know, initiate the short sale, upload your authorization, and one of the first couple tasks has to do with HAFA. A lot of you guys probably know that with Bank of America, there's a status that's called borrower outreach, and at that time, what it means is that the homeowner has to call in and discuss whether or not they want to do HAFA, whether or not they can do HAFA. With Wells Fargo and ASC, it's a little different. The status is called HAFA eligibility. So that's what you'll see on Equator once you get past get the authorization uploaded. And with these guys, the way it works is that they're going to review the file on their end, apart from anyone calling or doing anything else. And they're going to determine if that homeowner qualifies. If they don't, then you'll see the status change. It'll move to the next.
So right away, they want to see if they're HAFA eligible. So know that right away. Okay? It's different than how it used to be in the past. Now they're looking at all short sales, obviously pushing through that program. So anyway, good tips again, Chris.
Good tips.
Awesome. Anyway, check out Find Our Solution. That's our small business workspace. Again, email marketing, social media marketing, so on and so forth. Anyway, Chris the Drummer Bose, Bob LaChance getting back to it this week's pre-foreclosure tip of the week.